R15. Okay, so this is the sports bike that is considered one of the best sporty entry-level bikes in the Philippine market today and regarded as best amongst the 150cc motorcycle segment. The Yamaha YZF-R15 is the smallest super sport from Yamaha's stable, which is currently in its third generation version. With the R15, Yamaha has perfectly managed to scale down the persona of its bigger super sport motorcycles, retaining the silhouette and design philosophy of its bigger siblings like the R6 and the R1, which makes it look like a mini superbike. The design looks proportionate and futuristic, giving the R15 a strong road presence despite being an entry-level sports bike. That is why a lot of beginner riders or just budget-constrained folks are captivated by this bike, as it totally gives them the big bike feel that they are looking for at a fraction of the cost of bigger displacement bikes. Ang lakas talaga maka-big bike feels nito. However, despite being Yamaha's entry-level sports bike, this sporty two-wheeler comes standard with a number of features. First of many is the reputation it inherits from Yamaha's racing heritage. This sporty two-wheeler is powered by a 155cc single-cylinder, 4 valves, liquid-cooled, single overhead cam engine which churns out a healthy 19 horsepower and 15 Nm of torque. The engine comes mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox, and it is one of the most powerful 155cc sports motorcycles that have been equipped with variable valve actuation that allows the motorcycle to offer high-end performance. What the VVA does is to change to a more aggressive high-lift cam profile at certain RPM to let in more air and fuel starting at around 7,000 RPM to give you that better torque and power delivery at higher RPMs. While some may observe that the acceleration may be a bit tamed in the lower RPM range, performance suddenly changes to an angry machine when the VVA kicks in at a higher RPM range. Do remember what we have in here is a racing engine, and like in most racing engines, they are at their best at higher RPM territory. That is why such bike is best enjoyed in open roads and racetracks where the performance of the bike can be maxed out at will. Aside from this, the R15 boasts of assist and slipper clutch, only one of a few motorcycles in the 150cc category to have such feature, mostly found in higher displacement bikes. The concept of a slipper clutch was created to overcome the high back torque generated by the rear wheel when one does aggressive downshifts, especially at high speeds. This is done by allowing some partial clutch slippage to prevent rear wheel lockups, which would otherwise cause the rear tire to skid, and thus result to unintended spill, especially when attacking corners. With this, it gives the bike better stability at the rear. Another favorable effect of such assist and slipper clutch is a lighter clutch lever pull for the bike, something that is very much welcomed as it presents a better riding comfort, especially in less than ideal traffic situations.
The clutch lever is really light. You can actually pull it with one finger only. It's all due to the assist clutch that it has.
Add to that is the bike's very awesome transmission. The gearbox is precise and slick. Shifting is very smooth, and finding the neutral is very intentional. No second guessing where the neutral is.
Of all bikes that I have tried, this R15 has the smoothest transmission, the clutching. Sa ibang bike kasi it is very clunky. This one, the shifting is very smooth. Kakaiba, parang minsan nga parang isipin mo parang automatic siya.
The R15 has always been known to be a benchmark for the ride and handling balance among the entry-level super sports. This third generation is no exception. The suspension setup consists of upside-down hydraulic telescopic forks at the front and a linked monoshock with a new aluminum swing arm at the rear. The new Delta box frame, along with the aforementioned suspension combination, gives it an excellent balance which is praiseworthy for a motorcycle of this size. This gives the bike the rigidity and stability at high speeds. Needless to say, the sporty suspension is on the stiff side, giving the rider a very good road feedback. The bike comes with tubeless alloy wheels measuring 17 inches. It is also notable that the tires of the latest generation R15 is much wider than the previous variant, giving it a beefier, meaner rear end and of course more traction on the road. For braking purposes, the R15 gets a single disc brake at both ends. Though unfortunately, no ABS features included for bike releases here in the Philippines. A sad note considering ABS is fast becoming a standard feature in premium motorcycles nowadays. While the R15's siblings, the MT-15, is very flickable, the R15, having a slightly longer wheelbase, maintains a better straight line stability and would require more inputs for cornering. Not saying it is not responsive, because it actually is. And with this bike having a sporty and more aggressive riding position, this makes it much easier to control the bike, especially when having to lean the bike into the corners. The foot pegs at the rear are pulled much more to the back, which helps in giving a committed riding posture to the rider. Unfortunately, such rear foot peg set will tire you when taken out for a long ride, or in most cases, prolonged traffic situation. Likewise, the handlebars of the R15 are lower than that of the Honda CBR 150, but a bit more forgiving than those of the KTM RC200. Nevertheless, the low position clip-on handlebars are attached very low at the front, forcing one to assume a very aggressive hunch-forward riding stance. And add the fact that the sporty suspension is on the stiff side, which becomes rather unpleasant on rougher roads. Riding the bike in these conditions for quite a long duration in poor city roads of the metro will actually give you a sore back. This might be disadvantageous when the bike is ridden as a daily rider, especially when you have to deal with the horrendous metro traffic. But to be honest, when I had the bike with me for the duration of almost 3 days, I am more than thrilled riding in one very good looking bike than minding a sore back. Tiis pogi ka nga nila. Only after the adrenaline rush has subsided did I notice my back aching from riding the bike around for around 2 days straight.
When I initially had the bike, on the first day, I was really enjoying the bike. I didn't really feel any pain in my lower back. I was actually surprised I could last riding the whole day in this bike. Now comes the second day, it is still true na tipong I could still run the bike around town without getting much pain from the lower back. Nakakangalay, yes, true, pero hindi siya masakit sa likod. Now comes the third day, sasoli na natin to. Now I am actually feeling the discomfort at my lower back. Medyo sumasakit na siya. So yung pagod riding this bike in 2 consecutive days probably has caught up with me. So ngayon nararamdaman ko na yung back pains at my lower back. Mild lang naman, pero still there is some discomfort do sa lower back ko.
But who can blame me, right? The R15 is one really good looking bike. It is really fun riding the bike around. The proportionate and edgy design was a visual treat, giving it a tremendous road presence and in a way, a feel-good sensation. Its design is greatly inspired by the R1. At the front, the V3 has a new aerodynamic front cowl which is accentuated by the twin sleek-looking full LED headlamps. There is also small triangular air vent position between the headlamps, though the vent is just for aesthetics and no real functional use. But such vent do give this bike a MotoGP spec appearance, so I guess that is fine. The new front fairing has creases and sharp cuts which merge along the muscular fuel tank, which, by the way, has knee recesses that help in placing your knees comfortably while riding. The side profile of the R15 looks very aggressive, thanks to its bouncing forward design. The tail end is very edgy and sharp, in a traditional Yamaha Super Sport fashion, rises upwards and has a sleek and tapered LED light with a rear cowl, further accentuating its big bike appeal. The bike also has modern touch of digital gauges. It has a digital instrument console that displays all the information such as odometer, tachometer, clock, trip meter, a VVA indicator, average fuel consumption, and distance to empty. The fonts, however, are a bit hard to read while on the go as they appear very small. And this time around, the split Pillion grab rails are integrated into the tail section, and with the version 3, it has an upgraded split seat setup with the Pillion seat now lower and is more comfortable than in previous generation R15. But still, the sharply raked Pillion perch might not be comfortable for many Pillion riders for long rides.
So this bike has a large turning radius, so definitely that is a disadvantage in traffic, especially when you need to do tight turns. But the light weight of this bike actually negates the disadvantage ng turning radius niya. So weaving through traffic hindi naman ganun kahirap.
And with a very good fuel consumption of about 45 kilometers to a liter, and maintenance cost that would be similar to an underbone, this would make it perfect for an everyday bike. Or would it?
If I were to use this bike as an everyday bike, I don't think that I could last riding this bike every day without getting, problems in my lower back. So definitely this bike is recommendable as a fun bike, something that you would be using only during weekends or holidays on long rides to the twisties and back, parang ganon. Fun ride talaga.
Nevertheless, the Yamaha R15 is one perfect example of all show and go together. While the motorcycle looks stunning with its racy and aerodynamic design, it surely has got a punch in the form of its performance levels and handling prowess. Add to that, the good mileage and very low maintenance cost makes it even more enticing as usage can be maximized without hurting the budget, something that is hard to find in a bike that has all this and more. It is a bike that you can eagerly jump into before and after work and head out into the world, making your usual ride a fun journey while managing to draw attention on the street. And to me, that is a good deal. And with that, I guess I'll end my vlog here. If you like this video, do hit the thumbs up, subscribe to BossTL PH, and click that notification bell to be notified of our new uploads. Again, as I always say, stay awesome, stay safe, see you in the next episode. Bye for now.